narcissistic abuse sufferers have the disgusting habit of being alone in their rooms. Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that often goes misunderstood. Why do people who experience narcissistic abuse exhibit hoarding behavior? This isn't just about having a lot of stuff. Hoarding is often a complex response to deep emotional wounds. Imagine enduring constant invalidation and manipulation, leaving you desperately seeking solace in possessions that become more than just objects. They are lifelines, providing comfort and security amid chaos. We'll explore 10 reasons behind this behavior, shedding light on how emotional attachment to objects, a sense of control, fear of loss, and identity preservation play significant roles. You'll discover how possessions serve as anchors, grounding individuals in their sense of self and offering a form of self-preservation. We'll also discuss how hoarding can be a shield against grief and loss, a source of perceived value and validation, and a way to cope with the trauma of making decisions. Join us as we unpack the intricate connections between narcissistic abuse and hoarding, and learn how empathy and understanding can aid in the healing process. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for an enlightening journey into this often misunderstood behavior. Let's get started. 1. Emotional attachment to things. Have you ever noticed how some people form strong emotional bonds with their possessions? For victims of narcissistic abuse, this attachment goes beyond simply owning a lot of items. It's a way to cope with their inner pain. Personally, I hold on to plates, teapots, and teacups, even if they're broken. After enduring persistent invalidation and manipulation from their abuser, these possessions become more than just objects. They act as lifelines in the midst of chaos, offering warmth and stability. Each item provides comfort, reminding them that they are deserving of love and validation. This deep emotional attachment serves as protection against the pain inflicted by the abuser. When caregivers fail to provide the necessary support, turning to objects for solace feels like the only option. So, the next time you see someone clinging to their possessions, consider that there may be a deeper emotional struggle at play. A little empathy and understanding can go a long way in helping someone overcome their past trauma. 2. Control. Another intriguing aspect of hoarding is the need for control. Imagine living in a chaotic and unpredictable environment. This is a common experience for victims of narcissistic abuse. Hoarding acts as a way to build a fortress of possessions around oneself, bringing a sense of order and stability to an otherwise tumultuous world. When surrounded by their belongings, people feel empowered and in control. They use these possessions to insulate themselves from the unpredictable nature of their past abuse, creating a barrier between themselves and the outside world. Each item symbolizes their newfound control and serves as a reminder that they can shape their own environment. This behavior is about self-preservation and reclaiming autonomy in the face of adversity. So, the next time you see someone hoarding, remember that it may be their way of asserting control in a world that once felt overwhelmingly chaotic. 3. Fear of loss. The fear of loss is another powerful motivator behind hoarding. Imagine always being on edge, fearing that everything you cherish could be taken away at any moment. This fear is very real for victims of narcissistic abuse. It follows them like a shadow, constantly reminding them of their past lack of control. Hoarding becomes a way to protect against this perceived threat and to preserve what little sense of security they have left. Each possession acts as a shield against the instability and potential loss in the world. It's a form of self-preservation, a method to maintain what little stability they have. So, the next time you encounter a hoarder, understand that their fear of loss runs deep, and their possessions are more than just clutter. They are lifelines in a world that once felt overwhelmingly unstable. 4. Identity safeguard. Imagine having your self-esteem constantly eroded by others. Victims of narcissistic abuse know this feeling all too well. For them, possessions become extensions of their identity, concrete reminders of their values and beliefs. In a world that has questioned their worth and distorted their reality, these possessions ground them in their true essence. Each item represents their worth and uniqueness despite the gaslighting and invalidation they have faced. It's a form of resistance, a way to assert their identity against those who seek to diminish it. So, the next time you see someone surrounded by their belongings, remember that each item represents a part of their identity and strength in the face of adversity. 5. Avoiding grief and loss. What does this mean? Let's break it down. Imagine carrying the sorrow of past traumas, each one a painful reminder of hurt and betrayal. For victims of narcissistic abuse, this burden can become unbearable. Hoarding becomes a way to avoid feeling sadness and loss, a means of not having to let go. Each possession holds memories, both good and bad, and letting go of them can bring the trauma back to the surface. Hoarding preserves the past, clinging to what remains of happier times before the abuse. It's a method of protecting their hearts from further grief and betrayal. So, when you see someone hoarding, understand that their clutter is more than just stuff. It's a shield against the grief and experiences they'd rather forget. 6. Perceived value of objects. Imagine feeling continually starved for approval, as if your worth is determined solely by others' opinions. For victims of narcissistic abuse, the need for validation can be overwhelming. Possessions become symbols of self-worth and validation. In the absence of external validation, each item holds a perceived value far beyond its material worth, providing comfort and reassurance. Each possession whispers, "You are worthy," in a world that often overlooks them. It's a survival technique to find self-worth amid emotional deprivation. So, the next time you see a hoarder, remember that their possessions are more than just clutter. They are lifelines in a world that often fails to acknowledge them. 7. Difficulty making decisions. The trauma of narcissistic abuse can impair decision-making abilities, leading to hesitation and reluctance to discard items for fear of making the wrong choice. 8. Attachment to memories. Possessions often hold sentimental value, representing cherished memories of happier times before the onset of abuse. Hoarding becomes a way to preserve these memories and maintain a sense of continuity. 9. Compensation for lack of emotional support. In the absence of emotional support from the abuser, hoarding provides a form of self-comfort and emotional sustenance, offering a sense of companionship and stability. 10. Externalizing internal turmoil. Hoarding behavior can serve as a visible manifestation of internal turmoil and unresolved emotional pain resulting from narcissistic abuse. The cluttered environment reflects the chaos and disarray within the individual's psyche. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the intricate connections between narcissistic abuse and hoarding behavior. We hope this exploration has provided valuable insights into how emotional wounds manifest in the accumulation of possessions. Remember, hoarding isn't just about clutter. It's a response to profound emotional scars, a way to find comfort, control, and a sense of identity amidst chaos. As we've discussed, these possessions often serve as lifelines, providing a semblance of stability and security in a world that has left them feeling vulnerable and invalidated. Understanding the reasons behind this behavior, be it emotional attachment, a need for control, fear of loss, identity preservation, or the avoidance of grief, can foster empathy and support for those struggling with these challenges. If you or someone you know is dealing with hoarding behavior as a result of narcissistic abuse, remember that compassion and patience are crucial in the healing process. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others to spread awareness. Stay tuned for more enlightening content that aims to educate and support. Until next time, take care and remember that healing is a journey, not a destination.
No contact is a nightmare for a narcissist because it can make them feel this way. As always, it's a pleasure to have you all here for another show of Exposing the Narcissist. In today's discussion, we're going to delve deep into the significance of your choice to adopt the no-contact approach with a narcissist and how choosing to ignore them sends powerful nonverbal cues about your stance against their manipulative behaviors. Ignoring narcissists and adopting a full no-contact strategy are widely recognized methods for liberating oneself from the clutches of a narcissist and their relentless manipulative tactics. While both tactics are highly successful in diminishing the narcissist's influence in your life, it's crucial to understand that merely ignoring a narcissist is distinct from enforcing a full no-contact rule. The no-contact rule means cutting off all contact and conversation with the narcissist. Exactly what it sounds like. This means you do not receive any messages from them, you do not meet them physically, and they have absolutely no avenue to reach out to you or make any form of contact. On the other hand, ignoring a narcissist means that the narcissist might still be present in your surroundings, but you consciously choose to avoid engaging with them to the greatest extent possible. There are times when you have to be around the narcissist, like when you have to go to work or a social event that you can't avoid, and you choose not to give them what they want. This means you do not cater to their need for attention, you do not indulge them, and your interactions, if any, are minimal, devoid of emotional engagement, and purely transactional. Regardless of whether you opt to totally ignore the narcissist or enforce an absolute no-contact rule, you are essentially conveying several critical messages to the narcissist, messages that they find displeasing yet are incapable of ignoring. These messages are powerful reminders of your autonomy and signify a clear boundary that you've drawn, signaling to the narcissist that manipulative tactics no longer hold sway over you. The efficacy of these messages only amplifies with time, as keeping your distance solidifies your stance and makes your purpose unmistakably clear. It's important to note that the identity of the narcissist, be it a family member, a so-called friend, a romantic partner, or a colleague at work, does not change the essence of the messages conveyed through your actions. The beauty of choosing either strategy, ignoring them or going no contact, lies in its simplicity and the dual benefit it offers to you as an individual seeking liberation from their influence. Moreover, while the narcissist might attempt to concoct various interpretations or excuses for your decision to either ignore them or go no contact, the sustained absence on your part or your persistent disinterest challenges them to face the reality of the situation. When you stay away for a longer time, it gets harder for the narcissist to hide the stark truth of your lack of interest and the effects of your absence. The fact that they're slowly realizing this shows how strong and clear your message is when you choose to stay away from their toxic influence. First, when you decide to either avoid touch with a narcissist or just ignore them, you send them a strong message that you are now independent. It's clear that this behavior is sending the message, "I can live without you." This step isn't just about getting away physically, it's also a powerful statement of your emotional and mental independence. By avoiding touch with the narcissist or choosing to ignore them, you are making it clear that their presence is not necessary for your happiness or the smooth running of your life. To the narcissist, this choice shows that you are fully capable of living a satisfying life without their company. It shows how independent you are by showing that you don't need their company, conversation, help, or advice to get through life's difficulties or find happiness and contentment in your daily activities. It makes a point of showing that your life doesn't revolve around them and that your personal and business life can go on without them and even thrive. Ignoring or not talking to the narcissist takes away the power they think they have over you and shows them that you don't need their approval or support to live a meaningful life. It is a step towards getting out of the circle of control and manipulation that narcissists often put on the people they are close to. This action also shows the narcissist that they are not as important or necessary in your life as they may have thought. This choice also shows that you believe in your own worth and respect. Moving on from relationships or exchanges that don't help your health or make your life better makes it clear that you value yourself enough to do so. It's a statement that you value your mental health, emotional stability, and general happiness more than the narcissist's attention and the relationship that often goes badly. Going no contact or ignoring the narcissist can also help you grow and learn more about yourself in a bigger way. As a result, you have more time and freedom to pursue your hobbies, make new friends, and do other things that you may have neglected or put off because the narcissist was so controlling. It's a chance to rebuild and strengthen your identity without the narcissist's expectations or impact. You are sending a strong and clear message when you choose to ignore or avoid touch with a narcissist. This changes the balance of power and control in the relationship in a big way. That second important message says, "You don't control me." People who are narcissists often think that they are in charge of the relationship and can make the rules based on their whims and fancy. They often treat relationships like things or belongings, thinking they are in charge of choosing which ones to keep and which ones to get rid of. From their point of view, they are the gatekeepers who decide when to give you their full attention and when to push you to the background, expecting you to be available when it suits them. If you choose to not talk to or bother them, on the other hand, you are basically turning the tables. By making this choice, you are standing up for your freedom and making it very clear that you are the one who decides who is important in your life. This shows that you are not something that can be put on a shelf and then taken down when they think it's time to pay attention to you. That way, you show them that your life is not dependent on what they do or whether they are there. You are not just standing there and hope that they will decide to talk to you. By choosing to stay away from them, you are taking away any power they have over your physical or mental health. This statement of freedom makes it harder for the narcissist to control you as they see it. When you tell them they are not the center of your world, it hurts their ego and sense of being better than everyone else. Reclaiming your power and independence means being in charge of who you let into your life and making it clear that the narcissist is not one of them. You're telling them that you are in charge of your life and can make choices that put your happiness and well-being ahead of their need to control and manipulate you. Furthermore, this stance is not only about refusing the narcissist, it's also about protecting your honor and self-respect. It shows how strong you are and how you won't let anyone control or manipulate you. It tells the narcissist and, maybe more importantly, yourself that you value your freedom and the right to choose relationships that are healthy, respectful, and good for both of you. Making the choice to ignore or stop talking to the narcissist can help you feel more powerful in a bigger way. It might make you think more deeply about your ideals, your limits, and the kinds of relationships you really want. It might make you want to be in relationships where you are respected for who you are and treated as an equal partner, not a pawn in someone else's game. If you choose to remain distant from or avoid a narcissist, you send them a third powerful message that goes to the heart of how they see themselves. They are not as important to you as they thought. Narcissists love the idea that they are important and necessary to other people. One of their deepest desires is to be seen as so important that others would put up with their bad behavior or craps just to keep them around. This wish comes from their need to be constantly validated and told how important they are. But if you cut them off or don't respond to their attempts to talk, you send a very clear message that goes against their inflated sense of how important they are. This move sends a clear message that you don't agree with how they're treating you. It's a statement that their presence in your life is not necessary but rather a choice that you can think about again and eventually turn down. By doing this, you are destroying the idea that they are necessary and bringing to light the fact that they are not as important to your health or happiness as they may have thought. If you choose to avoid or not talk to them, it also shows that you don't care about how they affect the relationship. It means you're aware that you don't want to follow their rules, which usually involve mental blackmail, manipulation, or other forms of mind control. You are basically telling them that taking care of their ego or need to feel important is not as important as your own mental health and peace of mind. This attitude also makes a strong statement about your self-respect and your refusal to be put down or treated badly. It makes it clear that you have limits that can't be crossed and that any relationship that makes you put up with disrespect or abuse is not worth keeping. How strong you are and how determined you are to find relationships based on respect, understanding, and real care for each other. This warning could also wake up the narcissist. It might not change their behavior or attitude right away, but it changes their story and makes them face the fact that they might not be the center of everyone's world. It makes them think about their beliefs and may make them think about themselves, even if only for a short time. Last but not least, telling a narcissist they've lost you is the strongest message you can give them. You are one of the lucky people who have been able to escape their web of lies, manipulation, and abuse. You are part of a small group of people who have seen through their lies and refuse to put up with their poison any longer. Because narcissists tend to remember people who disobey them, they will always remember you as the person who slipped through their fingers and became someone they can no longer control or move. But it's important to keep in mind that narcissists will try to come up with different reasons why you should block them out at first. This is because they are stuck in their own false thoughts. They might even try to hurt your reputation by saying you've gone crazy or are acting strangely because they can't figure out why you chose to block them. In their story, they might make it sound like they are the one who is wronged and innocent. But deep down, they know the real reason you pulled away, and this makes them angry, especially if you stick to your no-contact policy or keep ignoring their appearance. This constant disrespect gets annoying to them over time, especially since narcissists are notorious for not giving up easily. We cannot stress enough how important it is to get rid of narcissists from our lives. You are free to choose how to do this. The most important thing is that you stay committed to this goal and don't give in to any of their desperate efforts to get back into your life. Being consistent in what you do is the only way these lessons will really hit home, hitting like a brick and leaving an indelible mark. As we come to the end of our talk today, I hope you found it interesting to think about the messages we send to narcissists when we choose ourselves over their manipulative plans. Your ideas and experiences are very important, so please share them in the sections below. Having this conversation not only helps us all understand each other better, but it also makes us more determined to set healthy limits. Thank you for watching. If you found this material useful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking conversations. We really value your help as we continue to work through the challenges of relationships and personal growth together.